today?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am well. How is summer going for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. It kind of catches up to you. You kind of maybe are scared and then think you're ready, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, we're in the throes of it, and it's still a little wobbly here in my household, to be honest. It's still a little off kilter.
How many times a day do you hear I'm bored yet?
Oh, yeah, and I've got grown men that came back from college and they're in their 20s and they are still bored. I'm like, "Listen, I am not, and what's interesting is I tell my boys, I said, I will provide you a good dinner. Okay? Sometimes that might be takeout, that might be pizza, but I will provide you a hot dinner. But breakfast and lunch, like you guys are on your own.
Right?
Like you guys can make your own egg sandwiches. I'm done."
Yeah.
But yeah, they're I don't know. Maybe it's because I have boys. They're just a little bit, I don't know. They need their mama and they're needy. But yeah, summer is just, yeah, it's interesting. We're trying to plan some things, even if it's little day trips and things, but it's just, they're working and everybody's working and we're just trying to make the most of it without doing nothing. I don't want everybody to just be on their phones and staring at the TV and just doing nothing. I want to do, I want, especially my youngest who will be a senior, when they go back to school, they're always, "Oh, so how was your summer? What'd you do?" I don't want my kid to be like, nothing.
I know, I
Nothing.
know.
Um, but
Absolutely.
yeah, so we're just kind of in the throes of just still trying to kind of survive and make it through June. So,
And you made a comment about being on the phone, and I am constantly telling my daughter to take a break from the phone, and get out of that just scrolling feeds
oh,
or
it's,
whatever, and I think that it kind of, she gets lost in it, and then time goes by, and she's done nothing because she's bored, there's nothing to do, and it's just being on the phone, and I'm like, you've got to do something different. We are taking a time out from
mhm.
that because it can have such a negative impact, because like you said, they're going to go back to school, and everybody's going to be saying what they did and the trips they took and all the fun, and she'll probably go, I didn't do anything. But she is turning 18 in August, so we're trying to do something fun, at least for that.
Yeah. Oh, us too. My guy's turning 18 as well. Yeah, so we're gonna do something fun as well. But yeah, it's that like addiction to their phones. It really is an addiction.
It is.
Something, especially I want to say I saw it more with my middle son and of course my youngest, who has a physical disability as well. But my middle son, like when you literally ask him to put it down and get away from it, he like can't. I'm like, you got a problem, dude.
Yeah.
Like you got a problem. Now he's a little older. He's in his 20s. It's a little better. My older boys are very physically active, so at least I know that when they're out there, their phone isn't in their hand.
Yeah.
When they're out running and they're actually training for a marathon, which is cool.
Nice.
Um, yeah, so I know at least when they're out there running their 10 miles a day, they don't have their phone attached to them and they're
Oh,
scrolling.
I can't even imagine 10 miles.
Oh, I know. They're up. They run sometimes at like 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock, because it's so hot right now.
That's the other thing. It's so hot. Like, there's not very much to do.
I
Like,
know.
during.
Unless you're in air conditioning or by a pool, it's. But again, it's that, and I know we talked about it before, Tracy, but it's that planning. It's that
Yeah.
planning as a parent. And our
For
kiddos
sure.
are, teenagers and older, and it's like, gosh, we still got to plan stuff. But
Yeah. And I feel like, too, and if you're not planning, they look still at what other people are doing, or if their friends are busy and they're not hanging out with anybody, that feeling of being left out, or nobody's available to hang out with me, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that social media aspect also kind of creates um that need to be hanging out with people, and when they see that they're doing all these fun things
Right.
and they're not, um it just creates a dark place too,
Yeah, a bit more
you
anxiety,
know.
you know. Right. It's true. And, our kiddos that do struggle with their mental health, we don't want them to go down that dark path and start thinking, darker thoughts like, well, they're there. Why aren't we? Or why did they invite me? What's
Oh
wrong
yeah.
with me? So that's hard. Those are some hard things. But um, yeah, my guys, they I don't know. I don't know if they're just, I think because of their physical, my older guys, because of their physical activity, um, that helps them, that helps them kind of release when you get out there and
Oh
those
yeah.
endorphins start moving and doing stuff, things that really does kind of help them de-stress. But for my younger guy who really struggles with things, yeah, and I've heard people ask him, hey, what'd you do this summer? And he'll be like, I went swimming. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these people are like going to foreign countries and going to
Yep.
Italy for 2 weeks. I'm like, well, we just can't do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
We just can't do that. So it's
My
it's tough. But again, we just gotta I'm trying to plan things like at least do one big thing a month, even if it's let's go to Hershey Chocolate World because I live in around the Hershey, PA area. Go there for the day, or just plan one thing a month. I know we're my kiddos are big Phillies fans, Philadelphia Phillies, so we'll try to get to a game every month.
Yeah.
So just
It's the
it
little
doesn't
things.
yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but to the family time is important,
It
and to my
is.
youngest, that's what he loves. So yeah.
So my daughter was at a sleepover
Oh.
last weekend, and I get the phone call. You know how there's kind of like that odd number, so if there's three kids, it's like the two get along and maybe one is like left out, and so she calls and she's just like, I feel like they're like not including me on things. And I just encouraged her, let them see, the real you, the fun loving person that you are, and don't let that anxiety talk to you and tell you that they're not including you. Because we went and saw Inside Out too,
Oh,
and anxiety was there, and so I talked to her a little bit about anxiety from the movie, and I'm like, don't let
awesome.
anxiety
Talk to
take
you.
over. Yeah, don't let anxiety take over the board, the master board, whatever.
Yeah.
um, and she still struggled, but and she did come home. I tried really hard to encourage her to stay, but she's like, I just want to come home. And I said, okay, I'm not going to force you to stay. And she was fine the next day. She talked to the girl and everything was fine. But it's just that's hard too when you feel like you're the odd person out in a situation.
Yeah. And I will say that, I mean, I've raised boys, but I've been around a lot of nieces. And I think in those teenage, young adult ages, especially with if your child has mental health concerns, I don't know. To me, it's a little harder to be a girl. I mean, in some of those situations, 'cause I've seen my boys struggle, but then they bounce back a little easier than I've seen my nieces, and that's just from an
Oh,
observation, like
girls
a
are
family.
hard, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girls are hard.
Yeah. I didn't want to make like a blanket statement, but from what I've witnessed, what
Yeah.
I've seen, um, yeah, my boys bounce back from issues with friends, and there's not been many, because guys, they just whatever. They forget
I
about
know.
it. I don't know. Their brains are
They're
different.
also, they like can bounce back, like you said. They bounce
Yeah.
back a
Like,
lot easier.
yeah. So
I
trying to
never
have
had that problem with my son. Like,
mm-hmm.
there wasn't anything of that nature. With my girls, and especially my youngest, because my oldest is in her 30s. So things were way different back then.
Right.
We didn't
Right.
have the social media aspect of things back then.
Yeah. I know it's something, but we're just, trying to do our best and manage all this stuff and trying to have a good summer. And before you
And
know it, our kiddos are going to be in their senior year.
I cannot believe it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know it's
I
crazy,
did
but
hear back, like she's got a job opportunity, with our local CVS. I don't know what it's going to entail yet, but I
mm,
do think that it would be kind of like a stalking job. So
mhm,
that's exciting, to try to get her into experiencing what a job looks like, so that when she graduates, that will be the next step. But and that's also hard too, with my daughter, there's a lot of struggles, mental health. And I think that, with the help of OVR, they're getting her into, a job. It's a summer job. There's only like a short window, like for a summer, maybe like for the month of July, or,
oh,
before
okay.
school starts. And it won't be any weekends or anything like that. It's just going to be stocking. So
Good.
that was it. That was nice. So definitely look at your OVR services, and make sure that they're planning for those transitions. I know we've talked a lot about transition, but during the summer it doesn't stop there.
Right.
You
And the other
know.
thing is, going into that summer, for our teenagers and young adults, summer jobs are important. And that
Yeah.
will get them off their screens. That will, because you're not many employers are going to allow you to stock the shelves or work a register or talk to people with your phone in your hand.
Right.
So, so that's an important piece of the summer. It's not all about laying by the pool, getting your tan, and hanging out with your friends. Going on these exotic vacations. You gotta work. We all had to work in the summer when we were teenagers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I was trying to explain to her, like, we had in my senior year got into retail or something, but it was through my school. And
Mm.
it was a job experience just like hers, but got a grade for it as well. So
Oh, that's good. We never had that. We didn't have that, but oh, you're frozen again, my friend. But that's okay. I'll keep going. We may have to cut this one short, my friends. But yeah, summer jobs are super important. Super important to keep kind of like your brain moving, and so they're not bored. So, but oh, Miss Tracy, you're frozen. Well, we might have to cut this one short because my fearless leader is frozen, literally frozen. Oh my goodness. Are you there? Christina's going to have to do some editing. She's going to have to stop at like minute 13. Hello. Well, at least for now, it's just me because oh, there she comes again. Okay, I don't hear you. Your speaker is off. Oh, there. I had moderator privileges for 10 seconds, so I started and all of a sudden you came back on. I said Christina's going to have to do some major editing here, but
I literally looked at my internet and I was like, it just went gone.
oh my
Like,
goodness.
what?
Oh
Okay,
my
well, we can
goodness.
splice that stuff out. I don't
Yeah,
even
you'll
know.
splice that out. But no, we were just saying that summer is a great a great time to get your child, and again, we have to help them, but that summer job is so important. And it
Explore.
doesn't, yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be a 30-40 hour work week. It can be 2 days a week for like 4 hours just to get them, because that is a lot when you think about it. Okay, even though we want them out of the house to like do some other things besides their phone, we'd love them to be gone 8 to 5 every day. Did I just say that out loud? But the reality is it's probably easier to ease them in, especially if, let's say they're on their feet. That's a lot, to ask them to do something physical. So even 2 or 3 days a week for a few hours. And if they can't get like a job that we would think, maybe even a volunteer work or something, to get them out of that bored, all I'm doing is, we're on your phone. And then there's that constant struggle, in my household. I work from home, but my husband he's out a lot. So he doesn't see it as much as I do,
Yeah.
so I'm the one that's always like, could you please do something else? Get off your phone.
Yeah, I even suggested that she do a little babysitting,
Oh, yeah.
and when we talked about it, because my oldest has 2 kids, and so she would go there and I'd be like, but this is a job. Like you can't just say, I don't want to go babysitting today. She's relying on you
Oh,
to come and watch the kids for a window of time. And during that time, you're in charge. This is a job, and you get paid for that job, but you cannot be unreliable and just go, I choose not to do something today,
right.
or go watch them, because that would be, teaching her that she can do that at a job and be like, I
Hmm.
don't want to go to work today.
Yeah.
No, there is somebody relying on you to be able to
Right.
be there. Whether it's your sister or whether it's an employer, you cannot be unreliable.
Right.
So
And those
trying
are
to
just
instill
right.
those skills, you know.
Right. And those are, life skills, life lessons that we have
Right.
to. And sometimes our kids don't think that way.
I
They're like,
know.
oh, I'm just gonna sleep in. Well, no.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sleeping in. I think it was the first time we were podcasting in the summer, and I said like she wanted to sleep in, and she's like, this is going to be what I have to do every day this summer. I just want to sleep in. I'm like, you're not sleeping in until noon.
Right.
Like
Okay.
we've
I'll
got
give you
things
till
to
like
do.
I'll give you till maybe 10. I mean, I get it. We all kind
Oh,
of
I
did it.
do. I do.
Yeah, I get it. But I don't want to see you in bed at 1 o'clock. Like,
I
seriously.
know. Right.
Seriously.
I don't get to
Oh,
sleep in that late.
yeah. I know we had a similar, I don't know if I told you earlier, but we had a similar situation. My middle son came home. He graduated from college, but he's like in a little gap year. But this summer he's helping my husband. And that first, because we have our own business, he was helping my husband. And my husband said, meet me at the garage at 8 o'clock. Well, my son gets up at 10 of 8, and my husband was in the driveway. He told him one time, get up.
Yep.
He left. He left.
Yeah.
And my husband, my middle son was in the shower, and he's like, oh my God, dad's what? I'm like, he's your employer.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are paying you. Like, he's paying you money. This isn't like, you know, come help your dad. This is, you're getting paid. You
Right.
can't. And I say to my friends and to some of my coworkers, I don't know if he's going to make it out there. He can't get up at 10 of 8.
Right.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, they have to learn that skill that somebody is depending on
Yep.
you showing up and your
Right.
performance. You can't just show up and just, like even with the babysitting, she can't just show up and sit on the couch and be on her phone.
Right.
She's got to feed the kiddos. She's got to maybe take them for a walk, read some books, just like my kiddo. You can't, you're working.
Yeah. You got to
So,
monitor, and she's also learning a little bit with that babysitting job that, you know, even my grandchildren struggle with some of the mental health challenges that she has, and she sees sometimes how hard it can be to help them out, but it's also recognizing some of the traits that she might also have, the struggles and things like that. And I said, gosh, I remember when when you were at that age and it was so hard for you to manage your emotions, and now you're helping them manage their emotions. It's
Wow.
like, it's
Yeah.
a full circle kind of
That's
thing.
awesome. That's awesome. And that's, that will make her feel really good. If she, when she helps them and she's there and her self-esteem, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's hard, even to have, I have grandchildren that he just turned 12, and then the 7-year-old. And sometimes it can be very hard. I know that I talked to you about, like the granddaughter, struggling to stay at home and, not go into a friend's house without any permission, and kind of going, where are you? I don't know where you're at. Um, and Jaden, he's on the spectrum and has a lot of ADHD, and he likes gaming. He loves to
Okay.
be on the gaming system. So you talk about addiction to a phone. It's
Oh,
also, that gaming, which maybe we don't understand sometimes. Like my husband's like, he needs to get off of the computer and the gaming console and things like that and do something outside. And I said, well, we do the same thing with our kids. We need to get her off of the phone, but
right.
he's very
Right.
addicted to the gaming aspect of things right now.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is with video gaming, because my youngest does a lot of that as well. It's sometimes because of their their mental challenges, that when they're on that, something is feeling good to them
Yep.
in that.
Yep.
And maybe because they're on the, nobody can see them, right?
Exactly.
Nobody can see that, I have a disability, right?
Yep.
Physical or mental. Nobody can really see that. And
Yep.
they're on like a level playing field.
Yep.
And they're probably pretty good, right? Your grandson's probably very good.
Yes.
So, right. So he feels good doing it. So it's one of those balancing things where, you know, you don't want them in front of it 24/7, but it's a place where he feels safe. As long as he's not
Right.
playing. Sometimes those games can be really a little crazy to me. I mean, they look a little dangerous, a little sketchy. So I would, caution parents to just kind of watch those, especially when they're little, when they're younger, to
Yeah.
see what they're playing. But I don't know.
I think it's just hard sometimes that when you don't understand the gaming kind of
oh,
world, and that how can somebody game like that for so long, it's hard for that person to kind of get it. But
hmm,
I get like what you just said, like that is where he feels his best,
right, right.
and
Comfort, right,
exactly. It's not like he had a bunch of friends come over and do those things. He feels like his friendships are in that game, and he's
right.
like building like happiness through that game
Exactly,
system,
exactly.
and of course we want to monitor, like, of course, if he's like being able to like chat with people,
Mm,
or giving out private information, we don't want that. So do monitor that, but don't always just put the idea that the gaming world is a bad
right,
thing for some of our kids.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
We just don't want them on it
Because
unmonitored, you know, 20 hours a day, right? I mean, there might be, okay,
yeah,
maybe you can do an hour in the morning, then we're going to go outside, do some activities, do something. Let's go somewhere, let's go to a park, let's go throw some baseball, let's go do something, whatever. And then, okay, you get an hour in the afternoon and an hour at night. I don't know. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, but
yeah,
it's that video game. I get asked that a lot because my son has a physical disability, is, that's his main disorder. And that's what he loves to do. So,
yeah,
years ago, it was like, oh, the screen time, the screen time. I'm like, you know what? That's all my kid loves. That's what only
yeah,
thing he can do. So he doesn't play it
right,
24 hours a day, but he does a fair amount.
yeah, yeah. And he does like a YouTube channel or something that says like what he's doing on the game,
Okay.
and my husband just does it. He's like, I don't know why somebody would want to watch somebody talking about it. And I'm like, that is just the way that some of
Yeah.
this
Yes.
generation or whatever, I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
my husband's like your husband, just doesn't get that. Doesn't can't his
Right.
brain doesn't switch from how he was brought up many years ago to yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because we
I
had none
get
of it.
that
I
too.
mean,
Yeah.
I think if when I was growing up, we had like handheld little gaming systems that were like you played basketball or something, or yeah,
Yep.
that. And then I think what was the one before Nintendo? What was that called? Atari
Atari.
yeah,
Atari.
or there was another one, a bigger. What was that one called? I'm
That really
I
dated us.
really dated myself. That is bad. But yeah, I mean, that's what we grew up on.
Oh my gosh.
So
Hey, but you know what? Also, if you really want to say we're dating ourselves, it was when we were going to the arcade and playing, on the
oh,
machines
oh,
in the
oh,
mall. You know?
oh. Listen, I was the queen of Miss Pac-Man, let me tell you.
I was gonna say Donkey
Yeah.
Kong and Mario
Yes, yes, yes.
Brothers.
I know.
Oh
But
my
to
god.
all the moms and dads who are listening, look, we made it through. We're
Yeah.
finding, life can be challenging, but we're finding things for our kiddos, what they excel at. We're trying to pave their way. It's not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I would just encourage you to, find something that they enjoy and do a little bit of it in the summer. Just find something. Doesn't have to be a trip to
Yeah.
Greece or Paris or 2 weeks at the beach. Maybe go for a day to the beach. If you haven't been to the beach for a while, go on a day trip. My husband thinks that's ridiculous, where I think it's fine. I'm like, go. Just
You know what we're gonna plan on Friday? We're gonna plan a movie night outside where my son's got a projector and a inflatable screen, and we're
awesome.
gonna just have a movie outside and get the sleeping bags or blankets, and at least that's something.
Awesome.
We make the
I
popcorn,
love it.
and it's something fun,
Yeah,
and it doesn't always have to be spending
right.
money and going on those trips
Right.
you said, but make the memories
Yes.
and have it be an event
Yeah.
for
That's a
them.
great idea. That's awesome. I've never done
Yeah.
that, but I've seen people do it like in their backyards, or they got their s'mores, they got their little campfire and their screen. I
Yeah.
think that the lawn chairs, it looks so much fun.
Yeah.
I might
Yeah. So just know that we don't have to always have big elaborate trips and plans, Summertime, it can be very simple, just making sure that our kids are still staying safe, and also having things to do, and and we as parents that are working, still trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
Just, to support them.
Yeah. Moms and dads, give yourself a little bit of grace, because the summer can be challenging, sometimes it can be challenging when you work from home. So,
Well, yeah, because they see you and they expect you to be there. Like, okay, now I need a ride. I want to go places,
right.
and you're like, I'm
Right.
working here. My door says working. I'm
Yeah.
closed for you right now.
I know one of our coworkers said to put, like you said, put that sticker or whatever, that sign. My kids obviously can't read.
Right?
They
No.
graduated high school and
I
college and they can't read.
in a
Yeah.
meeting, do not bother me.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, can I come in? Are you
Well, they'll
busy?
knock super lightly.
Yeah.
They'll knock real I'm like, dude, I guess
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
can't. Okay, my dear. Well, I think that was
That whole time when we were in the COVID time,
Uh-huh.
when everybody was on Zoom, and you saw kids coming in the background and
Christ,
and
yes.
them working under the table. That's us every
Yep.
day during summer.
We haven't left the COVID world. We're still, oh my goodness.
And we love it. And
It's
we
all
love
good.
it.
It's all good. I wouldn't want it any other way. We are able to do a lot of good with our kids and our families, so that's good.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me today, Pearl. I hope that you have a productive day and that
Yeah.
you have a wonderful week.
Yes.
You're going on
I
vacation,
am.
so you enjoy
I
that.
leave tomorrow, so I'm wrapping up my work day today, a little early, and so I'm doing a little self-care. So for those moms and dads who
There you go.
who want to watch our podcast, go back. We did some on self-care, so that's good too. So everybody have a great rest of the week, and we'll chat soon.
All right. Thank you,
Okay,
Pearl.
see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.